This isn't a rivalry game, but the next one is a final here in overtime. Carolina 89, Clemson 86. Let's take you out to Lawrence, Kansas State, number 3 Kansas.
And we welcome you to Lawrence, Kansas. Those of you that have been watching North Carolina hang on to knock off Clemson. Just getting going here. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla. The Sunflower State Showdown. Dean Wade at the line.
Yeah, this young man's coming off a very solid Saturday night. 18 points against Texas. The sophomore from St. John, Kansas, outside of Wichita. And the key for Kansas State, John, as you know, is just play with poise, run your offense. Don't let the crowd affect how you're playing.
Easier said than done at times in this place. Mikhailuk. Lucas grabs a board. Graham a 3.
Landon Lucas has gone back to being the Landon Lucas Bill Self wanted him to be. Early in the season, he said he tried to become an offensive player, but that's not really his game. What you just saw on the rebound, that's his game.
Brown wasn't able to answer. Wade's follow wouldn't go. And now Mason speeding up ahead, knifing through. And look at Landon Lucas with the follow and the putback. He's coming off 15 and 17 and a Big 12 Player of the Week honor.
That's right.
Against TCU.
Last 2 games, almost 15 rebounds a game. And that's the kind of start that he's that's earned him that award this week. Now remember, Kansas State has already used an inadvertent timeout that they called by mistake, so they only have 3 left.
One dude knocking down a big 3, reconfigured his shot some this past summer. Mason has it taken away. Good defense by K-State.
Nice.
And Brown gives K-State the lead.
And one of the things Wesley Owundu has the license to do is handle the ball in transition, taking pressure off those sophomore guards.
And a takeaway there by Barry Brown. Stokes picks it up, lays it in. So K-State playing tough here in the early going. Lucas, great position, and lays it in.
And John, keep in mind, DJ Johnson does not want to pick up early fouls. Neither he nor Wade can afford to be on the bench in a game like this.
Stokes buries a 3. All 5 Kansas State starters have scored, and it kind of speaks to the balance that they have against 6 guys averaging 9.5 or more.
And remember, this is Stokes' first game in here because he missed last year's game with a torn patella tendon. Happened in late January.
Mikhailuk off the bounce wouldn't go. K-State the other way. And a 5-point lead for the Wildcats.
Now let's see if they go inside to DJ Johnson, who's been really tough to guard lately.
Wade gets shoved. And the foul on Mikhailuk down low. Kansas State a 5-point lead, but Josh Jackson in the early going, the play of the night, the nasty throwdown, and showing off why he is one of the best freshmen in the country. And meanwhile, for the Kansas Jayhawks in the early going this season, Frank Mason has been their best player, and he's been one of the best guards in the country.
Well, there's no question. 7 times over 20, 2 times over 30, and right now in the early part of the conference race, he is a first-team All-American.
Austin Butke knocks down a 3 right there. So off the bench and buries a long-distance shot, and all of a sudden it's an 8-point game.
How about Bucky, the former walk-on out of Beloit, Kansas? Chemical engineering major. It's why he chose Kansas State, among other reasons.
Xavier Sneed into the game. He's one of their key reserves, and he comes up with that steal.
Yeah, he's a terrific freshman. You're going to really like his energy.
Irving couldn't hit, and the rebound pulled down by LeGerald Vick. This kid has had a great start to his sophomore year. Vick feeds inside, and then Bragg trying to connect with Lucas, and they turn it over. So again, Baylor unbeaten at 13-0, and they occupy the second spot in the rankings. West Virginia ranked 7th, Kansas ranked 3rd, and I mean, you get 3 teams to the top 7 from out of your conference. You're doing all right.
That's pretty good. Those 3 teams are clearly better than anybody else in this league, and a careless turnover. You can't have that with your Barry Brown.
Devontae Graham with the takeaway in the bucket. And it's back to a 6-point game. First turnover of the game for Kansas State.
And right now, Wesley Owundu on the bench.
Isaiah Sneed, or Xavier Sneed, I beg your pardon, with a big shot right there.
Well, he's a St. Louis kid, John, really athletic. I love the way he plays defense, although he just got backed up.
Oh, man. Josh Jackson with another throwdown. He was limited their last game due to foul trouble. Played only 12 minutes against TCU, making an impact here in the early going with 6 points.
Well, Bill Self used Sneed's pressure against Jackson against him because it was a great back cut by the freshman Jackson.
Bucky again. This one is short. And then off Urban, out of bounds. K-State on the road and leading this one by 7.
Coach, he is 0-4, and he's lost by an average of 19 points a game. So
here at Allen Fieldhouse, yeah.
That's right. You want to stay in this game with good execution. Little token pressure by K-State. They don't play a lot of zone, John. Maybe 2% of their defensive possessions all year.
Jackson puts it on the floor. Off the window, wouldn't good. No, they're going to score the basket.
Interesting. Bill Self likes to run that play for Jackson out of a timeout to get him going. It's a dribble weave that allows him to turn the corner. And let's see, watch him now get that ball up. Here comes Johnson, and I'm not sure that ball was on the way down.
They call goaltending. Jackson now with 8. 3 of his 4 field goals are dunks.
Well, that's a crafty call by Bill Self, getting the freshman Jackson a one-on-one situation.
Stokes using the Johnson screen, now Sneed. And a travel on Brown. Though this is arguably the toughest place to go on the road and pick up a win, and Kansas in the middle of another one of those streaks. They've won 46 straight at Allen Fieldhouse. Perfect this season. And Bill Self in his career is 2-12-9 here.
And 104-5 in conference play. In a conference that's been a very good league the last few years. And that's typical of Kansas when they play the high-low game.
Yep.
You get Carlton Bragg taking his man up the lane, and Jackson aims it at the corner of the backboard.
And right there, Stokes tried to spin it high off the glass. Jackson hesitates off the window and one. The freshman off to a fast start here tonight, and he's got a chance at a three-point play.
Did you see the hesitation at the elbow that allowed him to sidestep his man, John, without running him over? Take a look right here. Hesitation, go. Terrific job right there by a young man from Detroit. Expected to be a top 3-4 NBA pick in June. Following the footsteps of guys like Andrew Wiggins, Joel Embiid.
We are all tied up, 24 apiece. And under 10 to go here, first half. Kansas on a 9-0 run. John Chomby, Fran Fraschilla, Sneed. The one-do. And puts it back and in. Wesley Iwundu does a little bit of everything. Some coaches, the comp, I know it's not fair, Scottie Pippen, at least in terms of the body type and the versatility, does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, the versatility is what makes him a really good Big 12 player, and he's grown into that role over the course of 4 years, there's no question.
Jackson. That's not the strong part of his game.
No, it's not. It's the only part of his game that's not the strong part. Now, I would go inside if I were K-State with DJ Johnson guarded by Carlton Bragg right now. They've got to figure out a way to create a passing angle to get it to him.
Shot clock under 10. Great block. There's Jackson. And doing a little bit of everything.
And among the other things that Josh Jackson can be is a great defender. Watch him working on the weak side. And when you look at his steals and blocks, those are energy plays on the defensive end. Of course, he's a gifted athlete. And I think the best thing about him, John, is his great competitiveness. He has a great motor. I remember in the preseason being at practice, and he was lost. He was trying to feel his way, learning the offense, trying to figure out what Bill Self wanted. But the instincts are taking over. Nice back cut.
Great look inside Brown with the layup off the inbound.
You expect Brown to cut to the corner for the jump shot, and instead, he just cut right down the lane. Remember, there's no rim presence right now for Kansas.
I believe they just got DJ Johnson with his second. Indeed, they did.
Well, let's go back and watch Brown here on the back cut. He's just going to fake like he's going out for the jump shot. And he's going to cut to the basket right by Devontae Graham. And Graham, that doesn't happen much to Graham, who's an outstanding defender. And that's a tough break for Bruce Weber, because one of the things he told us, John, is he wants to keep those big guys on the floor as much as possible.
Isaiah Maurice is checked into the game for K-State. Lucas tips it out. Bragg has it. Finds Jackson to Lucas and puts it in.
How about Lucas's energy? He always seems to be around the basketball.
Under 8 to go here, first half, and K-State doing a nice job on the road. A one-do gets fouled. K-State up by 2. A smaller Jayhawks lineup here tonight, but the bigs they have passing the ball nicely as Lucas able to put it home. Rabbi, Seth, thanks very much. It's nice to be here in Lawrence and get into some college basketball. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm here because we want to send our best to the Miles Simon and his family who lost his dad Walt the other day. And I'm just filling in, and John, I'm glad to be with you. And Miles,
yeah, we wish you all the best.
Yes, we know
thinking about you.
Yep, his dad was a fixture in Southern California basketball.
Nice up and under move by Wade.
And John, I mentioned to you during the break, Kansas can still play big, and this is a big lineup right now, but they just can't do it as often as they used to do it.
They go to the possession arrow. It'll be Kansas State basketball.
And if you're Landon Lucas or if you're Carlton Bragg, you don't want to get into foul trouble. And that's what we mean when we say no rim protection right there. And it's not because Landon Lucas can't come from the weak side. It's just that early in games, he's been advised to be cautious and judicious with his fouls. You know, if you have a good player, sometimes you tell him, we can get the 2 points back if you give it up, but we can't get the foul or 2 back.
Wade the jumper just inside the three-point line. And Lucas the board. Mitch Lightfoot is in the game for Kansas as Bill Self tries to grow that post depth. Graham a three. Jackson the putback.
Yep.
He has been sensational. So active in the early going. He's got 13.
Yep, and you know what? Yeah, Bill Self's run a couple plays for him. But he does it with the competitiveness and the athleticism and the great instincts. He is an instinctive basketball player.
Wade ball fake and the foul on Lucas.
Yep. There's one of those examples that Lucas doesn't want to commit that foul, but Wade with the good fake.
2-point game here at Allen, and our first 2017 NBA Wednesday doubleheader. As good as it gets. Bulls, Cavs, 8 Eastern. At 10:30 Eastern, the Blazers and the Warriors. Coverage starts at 7. NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew. Also streaming live on ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Well, this young man, Dean Wade, we watched him last year as a freshman, and I think one of the big things, John, was the Kansas State coaching staff told us early in the year that he didn't realize how good a player he could be. And we're seeing strides as a sophomore and growing into, I think, is going to be a very good Big 12 player.
Mason buries a three over the outstretched arms of 6'10" Isaiah Maurice. And back to a 1-point game. And here's a one-do handling with Jackson on. Good matchup.
That's a really good matchup. That could have been an offensive foul.
Stokes. Jackson yanks down the board. Well, he did a great look at it. Buried it. He's doing everything. 16 points for the freshman. Jayhawks back out front. Wade now spinning on Jackson. That one way off the mark. Graham, Lightfoot. And Lightfoot will go to the line. We were at practice today. Mitch Lightfoot was having a little trouble with getting to the rim aggressively. He did it that time.
Yes, he did. Good athlete. He's going to get more playing time, but Jackson has been the key in the first half. You talk about great athletes. Josh Jackson out of Detroit, highly recruited, and that's the one thing, John. When he starts to make that shot consistently, he gives you the entire package.
He's got some kind of motor, and you talked to me about it off the air, and one of the things about a guy like this who's so highly touted, you know, he comes in and is, I mean, pedal to the metal type of player where you're just noticing him everywhere, offensively and defensively.
That's right. You know, I hesitate to do this, but he reminds me, he's got the competitiveness of a young Kevin Garnett, which is special. You've watched him on the grassroots or high school level. That's the one thing that separated him from the other great players in his class, was an incredible competitiveness, and we've seen a lot of that this year already. And Mitch Lightfoot out of Gilbert, Arizona, Phoenix area. Family is from Kansas City, Kansas area. I had a chance to coach him at the Under Armour All-American camp.
Xavier Sneed has to come out.
Well, they can sub.
He can't, yeah, he
when
can't
they go
check
to the
in.
monitor, they've got to.
Yep.
They'll wait for the first free throw. And then Keith Kimball will wave him in. Cannot sub on a official's review. And now that'll be rectified.
So Sneed and Urban check in.
You know, Lightfoot is not a bad shooter, but he's 1 for 9 from the line in his career.
Jayhawks by 3.
And you see Wundu takes the pressure off of those guards by handling the ball from his forward position. Nice cut.
Great look and a great pass.
Yep. Nice job by Corby Irvin. He caught the eye of Sneed. Good cut. Former Connors State star in Oklahoma. Oh, you can't go under him.
And they talked about that at the shooter end yesterday and today.
Go over, go over.
That's right. Never go under Frank Mason on the ball screen.
Lucas tracks down the board. And we get a chance to watch practice today, and I mean, Frank Mason just runs the show for Kansas. Lucas and 1, and landed Lucas to the line. Foul on Corby Irvin.
Well, second breakdown in 2 straight possessions, and it could end up costing the Wildcats 6 points. Nobody has Lucas on the backside. They went under the ball screen with Mason.
That landed Lucas from Portland, Oregon. Spent a decent part of his childhood actually in Japan, and I was asking him before the game, I said, so how's your Japanese? And he said, I could get by. He said, if I went over there right now, though, I'd pick it back up pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and he spent time in the schools there. His mom took him over. His dad, Richard, was a very good player at the University of Oregon back in the late 80s. Of course, Landon is one of those guys who's been a 5-year guy, redshirted. He went against guys like Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins every day, Tarek Black in the NBA.
And the foul is on Lightfoot. That's his first.
Got to know the scouting report, John. Cannot go under the ball screen. Frank Mason will make you pay. He's done it all.
By 6, under 4 to go here in the first half. Josh Jackson's been tremendous so far, Fran. The number 2 recruit in the ESPN 100. Harry Giles, number 1, but Jackson showing off everything tonight.
Yes, and you know, depending on who you talk to and what your eyes tell you, some people thought he might have been number 1. He was certainly in the top 3 or 4, along with Markelle Fultz, some of the other outstanding freshmen. And, you know, Bill Self told me a couple weeks ago, he doesn't score like a lot of those guys, but he does so many things to help our team win. And we've seen that tonight.
The 1-2 with Jackson on him, not able to convert. This is the Gerald Vick. Vick inside, lays it up. Nope. And they're going to say offensive foul.
Vick needed to see that because the defender was set at a really early stage. Take a look. He's just waiting there, see? He's legally guarding Austin Butke, a chemical engineering major who was unofficially scouted by Notre Dame football. 3-sport star. Excellent high school tight end. You know who coached at Beloit High School, which is up in North Central Kansas? Gene Cady. Spent 5 or 6 years there before heading to Hutch. In fact, these 2 coaches have something in common because Gene Cady was brought to Division I by Eddie Sutton. Bruce Weber worked for Gene Cady a long time. And of course, Bill Self, an Oklahoma State guy, worked as an assistant coach for Eddie Sutton as well. And Mr. Iba influence.
Clock winding down, and that's a 2 for Barry Brown.
That's what we mean by patience and poise on the road. They ran good offense, and then Brown knocking down the shot. By and large, John, Kansas State has been poised.
Great look there as Bragg puts it in. Wow, Josh Jackson, rebounds, dunks, blocked shots, passes.
The passing, John, is probably the most underrated aspect of this game. He's great in the open court. That time we saw, take a look, watch the wraparound right here. Great no look and the finish by Carlton Bragg. Two former McDonald's All-Americans.
Foul to one to his second. And Bragg completes the three-point play, and will take a seat as Landon Lucas checks in.
And Bill Self, who's been used to, through the years, playing 8, sometimes 8.5 players in his rotation. Right now it's 7 plus Lightfoot, so it's about 7.5. But he's done a good job tonight of rotating Jackson, Lucas, and Bragg in through those 4 and 5 spots.
And again, they're without Udoka Azubuike, who is done for the year following a wrist injury suffered 2 weeks ago. And a guy that would give him size. Shot clock winding down. And a travel. Turnover gives the basketball to Kansas. K-State is led by as many as 9 here in the first half. But right now, it's Kansas by 7.
Well, the toughest part about coming in here and playing well is you can't let Kansas go on those 8 and 10-0 runs. Because you can be up 3 and all of a sudden be down 7-8 in the blink of an eye. Here's that 4-out offense, John. Look at the spacing.
Mason gets another.
That's perfect basketball spacing on the perimeter. Lucas occupies the low post. 4 guys who can make plays on the perimeter. And Jackson with another assist.
Mason with 3 threes, and answering is Kamal Stokes. Vic. And a rebound pulled down by Barry Brown.
Now, if you're Kansas State, you need 2 really quality possessions here. Down 7. Can you get 4 points? No. But you can't throw it away like that.
Let me ask you this. Bill Self, this entire week following the TCU win, was very adamant. He said, we don't guard, we don't guard, we don't guard. How do you think he feels about the first half defensively?
Well, he'll have something to complain about because they've got 39 points. But what he told us early in the year, he goes, this team scores more easily than most of my other Kansas teams. But our defense has to get better, and we saw that on Saturday night at TCU.
Jackson was looking inside, wrestles the ball away. Graham buries a 3. Well, there's that grit from Jackson as he ripped the basketball away and then found Graham for the triple.
We said it, John, you cannot give up these kind of runs and expect to win in Allen Fieldhouse, which is why very few teams do.
Wade inside, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, Josh Jackson, take a look. He's been everywhere tonight, John. Watch this strength right here. Grabs the ball, knows where Graham is, and locates him on the weak side. Just terrific basketball by the freshman. He'll be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft.
Well, more basketball coming your way Thursday on ESPN. Big Ten Pac-12 doubleheader. First Purdue and Ohio State, and then coming your way, it'll be Cal and UCLA. Lonzo Ball and the Bruins ranked number 4.
Yeah, Biggie Swanigan having an incredible season for Purdue. Can't go under.
Mason had a good look at it. I think they got Lucas underneath with the foul. And they did. That's his second.
The only saving grace for Kansas is they'll get an extra possession now because they shot the ball quick and then fouled. You know, Bill Self, we were talking about this yesterday. He watched the tape of the TCU game, and their pick and roll defense was abominable. And he really laid into his guards, Mason and Graham, two of the best defensive guards in the country. And it gets back to what we've said earlier. They've been a great defensive team for so many years, but they score so easily now, John, because of Jackson, Graham, and Mason, and Svi Mikhailuk, who's had a great season.
And Kansas will call timeout, up by 7.
Order envy. When you want what you have. And
At the break, Kansas leading K-State 52-42. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla with you. K-State led this one by as many as 9. Kansas has so many weapons. We talked about Frank Mason, Devontae Graham, but the freshman Josh Jackson was pretty good.
You know, he's been great, John. Here's the crazy thing. 15 points, but how about 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 0 turnovers. So in terms of offensive efficiency, he's been absolutely outstanding. And this is just a little bit of taste of what we've seen in the first half from one of the top 5 picks in next June's NBA draft. How about the athleticism, the feel for the game, makes a 3 later on, really impressive.
And now time for Getting More, brought to you by Nature Made Gummies. Josh Jackson getting more all the time, inside and outside, as he was able to knock down a big 3-pointer. Jackson limited by foul trouble only a dozen minutes last game against TCU. And tonight, with 16 already and 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So, I mean, a shot at a triple-double.
Yeah. And by the way, Landon Lucas is on his way to a double-double at this stage. 8 points, 7 rebounds. Kansas State shot over 50% in the first half and 50 from the 3, so that's something Bill Self will likely address with his team.
And by the way, on the other side, the 52 points, the most given up by Kansas State the first half under Bruce Weber.
Well, we said it, John. They score easily, Kansas.
Good job by Wade, stepping in front, but stepped on the baseline. 46 in a row for the Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse.
You know, the last Big 12 game they lost. Oklahoma State, Marcus Smart, Phil Forte back in 13.
Great look, Mason and Lucas.
All right, Lucas got 10 points. Now he just needs 3 rebounds. Both Lucas and DJ Johnson, 2 fouls each. So both of them want to stay on the floor.
One-do backing down, uses the glass and banks it home. Kansas, such a good offensive team, so many weapons, and that dual point guard system that they use with Mason and Graham.
Well, look at all the room they have when they play the 4 perimeter guys. It's what we call 4 out, 1 in.
Kylook couldn't get it to go. And the foul inside is on DJ Johnson, and that's going to be his 3rd.
Personal foul. Team number 1 on Kansas State.
Big Landon Lucas getting off to a good start this half. And again, the whole thing for Lucas is about what he gives you. The defense, the rebounding, the points are just a bonus. But on this team, he's going to get a lot of opportunities to score. 2 quick hands.
Brown ripped it away from Mason, kick it up ahead, and Stokes able to put it in.
Good, solid sophomore backcourt.
Last year, Kamau Stokes injured his knee January 30th against Ole Miss, and they went 4-8 in their final 12 games. Lucas, deep post position, and lays it in.
Well, we talked about Kansas not having the big fella, Azubuike. K-State doesn't have a lot of size inside either.
Nice move by Wade as he went with the left hand.
And right now, Austin Butke, 6'5", trying to guard Landon Lucas.
Jackson picks up his own miss and then had it taken away by Stokes.
A technical foul, and that is the third technical foul of the season for Josh Jackson. And Bill Self is going to give him the hook. One of the reasons he struggled at TCU was because he picked up a technical foul. And I'm going to tell you, I mentioned the competitiveness, John. It can get him in trouble as well. You know, as a coach, you'd rather calm a guy down than to check his pulse rate. He thinks he's fouled here. Well, let's see if we could see the reaction afterwards. Well, we couldn't. You know, sometimes your greatest strength can also be your greatest weakness, and you'll just watch Josh Jackson. He's upset. He says something to Ray Natilli, who tease him, and that's also a personal foul.
So he grabs a seat on the bench, and we got ourselves a 6-point game in K-State with the basketball.
And the crazy thing is, he's now got to sit because Bill Self's going to kind of make sure he cools down. But he's been a dominant player on the court tonight.
Shot clock under 10. Owundu. Got it. Big three.
Yep.
3-point game now. Wesley Owundu with 14.
That's a 30-second timeout.
Kansas State fired up. And a good one here in Lawrence.
You got a friend.
Is 9 in the first half. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla. And Josh Jackson's had himself an outstanding game. He just picked up a technical and found his way over to the bench. K-State 4 out of 4 from the floor this half and on a 7-0 run. Mikhailuk.
It's good spacing right there. Yep.
Mason, a great look at it. His 4 threes, 4 for 5.
And now Kansas is playing 4 true guards. And they love to drive baseline and make plays from there. Nice job by the youngster from Cherkasky in Ukraine.
Wade got good position, laid it in with the left hand. He's got 11.
How about K-State, John? They're shooting about 60% in this game so far. Close to it.
Yeah, Bill Self is not going to be happy with the defense. Vic couldn't finish. And now Owundu back the other way. Owundu. No call there.
Got 4 3-point shooters on the floor.
Graham off the mark. Kansas lost its opener of the season in Hawaii to Indiana. They've won a dozen straight since. A couple of blocks there, but Stokes able to come away with it. And they'll reset.
Reset, but no reset of the shot clock.
Right. K-State, meanwhile, only loss in Brooklyn against Maryland.
The game they had won.
Butke a 3. And Vic hands off Mason. Had it ripped away. Nice play by Owundu. All defense in the Big 12 last year. The kick out. Brown. Owundu the rebound.
I like this patience.
And Stokes will go to the line. Wesley Owundu in the middle of everything. Josh Jackson will check back in when we return. Kansas with the lead. this game.
You know, the fact that Kansas State only has 5 turnovers and they're shooting 53% from the field, and they by and large kept their poise against a team that we know is explosive. And so every time Kansas has tried to pull away, Kansas State, with that poise aforementioned, has been solid.
Hot shooting both sides.
Yeah.
Kansas shooting almost 60% as Stokes will go to the line. A reminder, First Take now on ESPN. That's right, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern until noon. Stephen A., Max, and Molly will discuss and debate the most compelling and entertaining topics from the world of sports on ESPN.
And Kamau Stokes came up empty on those 2 free throws. See Kansas State switching a lot of those screens out on the perimeter. Bill Self went inside to Josh Jackson.
Wesley Iwundu picks up his 3rd.
You know, Josh Jackson's going to be an NBA small forward, John, but at 6'8", he's got that ability. He can post you up inside if necessary. Bill Self didn't wait long to get him back in after that technical foul.
Kyler down low. Jackson double clutching.
Yeah, I think someone got a piece of that ball.
Johnson inside. He has been quiet here tonight.
Yeah, nice job by Lucas. He just played straight to the ceiling.
Mikhailo couldn't finish. K-State a little more interested in a slower type pace. Johnson gets it to go. Some nice moves down low.
Yep, he really wanted the ball. Lucas has done a good job of just putting his hands straight up, but he doesn't want to commit a foul. And good execution by DJ Johnson. He's become like Thomas Gibson used to be for Bruce Weber, scorer inside.
Mikhailo with a big corner 3. His first 3 points of the night.
Well, remember, he's been red hot the last 4 games.
Johnson inside. Jackson fouled him.
Yeah, and this is good strategy by Bruce Weber. Johnson's only got the 2 fouls, so they're working him inside. And watch Lucas try to play vertically right here. And he just raises up over Lucas. Keep in mind that Kansas, you know, and you say, well, they don't have a rim presence.
Right.
And then Kansas fans will say, we got Landon Lucas who's a good defender. But Yante Maton from Georgia had 30. Reed Travis had 29. And then the youngster from TCU, Vladimir Braziansky, a guy that most Kansas fans probably have never heard of, had 28 on Saturday night. So it's a concern.
Yeah, stopping the big guys.
Yeah, doesn't mean they're not a top 5 team. They are. A lot of these good teams have certain weaknesses.
Three-point game.
It's a lot harder to guard Kansas than it is for Kansas to guard other teams. That I can tell you.
Big feeds Lucas, who's got a double-double. Spinning. Rag underneath. He puts it in.
And I think that's the one guy for Bill Self. If he can take his game 1 notch up, Carlton Bragg, makes a big difference.
Johnson inside. Wow, and they get a foul on Gerald Pick. I beg your hard. It was on Landon Lucas.
Let's take a look now. They dump it down. Watch Lucas's lower body. Well, I don't know about that one. Mike Stewart had a really good angle on the baseline, so he had a better look at it than we did, but and I think the fans saw the same replay we just did.
Brown launches and hits.
Big
Their
time.
leading scorer, Barry Brown.
Yep.
And he's got 11.
They've been poised, John. Kansas State has played with really good poise. And right now, the Kansas perimeter standing around a little bit.
Mason. Did they just get Johnson with his fourth? No. They got Sneed. Xavier Sneed with his first.
The dribble handoff here. Well, that's nice play. Wow.
Wow, they got 3 shots.
Well,
That foul on Budke.
he tried to fight through the screen. Remember, he's still in the act of shooting until both feet come to the ground. And that's a good call by Ray Natili. Budke just took his left forearm and placed it on Svi. I just don't have the energy to say Mikhailuk tonight.
That's
so
fine. You've
I'm
gotten
gonna-
it out a couple of
I'm
times.
going to go with Svi.
No, Svi's fine.
Yep. Youngster that was discovered by Kansas at the Nike Hoop Summit 3 years ago. How about this? He's a 19-year-old junior, and he's younger than Josh Jackson, who's a freshman.
Yeah, by 4 months.
Yep. Remember, he was in the starting lineup as a 17-year-old for Bill Self. Started a bunch of games as a freshman. Came on at the end of last season, and right now he's playing at a terrific level.
Yeah, he defers less than he did
Yes.
his first couple of years. Kansas by 5. And they get an offensive foul. Corby Irvin.
Yeah, and you know, Irvin was already by the defender, so there wasn't really any need. We hit the little twilight zone patch of this game.
Yeah.
From the officiating standpoint, but by and large, they've done a good job tonight.
Vic hoists it up. Gets it to go.
It's going to be a basket by Kansas and a foul on Kansas.
Foul is on
So the
Carlton
basket will
Bragg.
count, yes.
And the bucket is good. The Gerald Vick. And the foul on his roommate, his buddy Carlton Bragg.
I'd keep going inside.
Johnson.
Yep, I like it.
And he gets bumped by Bragg. Second on Bragg. When we come back, we'll let you know about the last time the Wildcats picked up a win here in Allen.
Keep the Jayhawks in it, but not enough, John.
K-State winning them 59-55. And again, one of 9 losses for Bill Self
And by
at
the way,
Allen Fieldhouse. Jim Woolridge was the head coach then.
And by the way, that's the only Kansas State win in the last 20 years in here. So that was an aberration, if you will. And there's the 17th foul by Kansas. So the Wildcats will go to the line.
And it just got Mason with his first.
You know, I told people during the summer that I really thought this Kansas State team would be a lot better than people thought. And 12-1, you know, they beat some teams they should have beaten. Schedule wasn't horrendous. Had a chance to beat Maryland and Brooklyn. But this is a good basketball team just with watching with our 2 eyes, wouldn't you say?
No doubt.
And they're going to be very tough at home in Bramlett, which is a great home court.
Yeah, that is one of the more, well, not in the Big 12, everybody knows, but that's an underrated home court advantage. Tough place to go get a win. Bragg, did he travel? Yes, he did.
Yep. And Carlton Bragg trying to make something happen. Bill Self wanted a foul. And I think you'll see a lot of whistles here the next few minutes as the officials try to take control of this game. By and large, they've done a good job.
Stokes trying to sell the foul call. Mason back to Vic. Mikhailuk.
Yep. Well, Smee for 3. We're getting used to saying that in here.
All 9 of his points have come in the second half. Johnson inside. Couldn't finish. Out of bounds. And it'll stay with K-State. Been a frustrating night for DJ Johnson. Senior from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And Bruce Weber's first recruit.
How about that? Remember, this young man missed 16 months. He broke his foot in the NCAA tournament against Kentucky. Redshirted the next year. And part of last season, early this year, playing great basketball.
The 1-2 hesitation. Nice. Great look. And the throwdown. And Johnson lets out some frustration with that monster dunk.
Well, Kansas State is hanging around, but Kansas also, you kind of feel that they could go on one of those runs at any time.
Good hands, Awundu. Excellent defender, Wesley Awundu. Nice look, Wade inside.
Wow.
How about that? Wade and one.
As good as he was as a freshman, this young man is so much more confident. Dean Wade, Mr. Basketball in Kansas a couple of years ago. Take a look, John. This is a man move right here. Finishes. Coming off those 18 against Texas in his first Big 12 game as a sophomore.
Foul on Mikhailuk is 4th. For Wade, by the way, from little St. John, Kansas, right in the middle of the state.
Yep.
Town of about 1,200.
Everybody knows everybody. People don't have to lock their doors. Couple stoplights. 1 DQ, Dairy Queen. I'm guessing on that one.
Oh, goodness.
Watch out.
Sneed off the feed from Stokes.
I'll tell you what, Bruce Weber right now, he's pleased with his team's poise and their execution. And a great test for Kansas.
K-State led by as many as 9 in the first half. They get the foul on Stokes, and that's his first.
I'll tell you, I love this kid Xavier Sneed out of St. Louis. You know what you like about him when you watch him on film? He plays hard. He's a good defender. He's knocking down the threes early in the year. And he's in his first game in Allen Fieldhouse.
Grab kick out Mason. Jackson inside and the foul. And a foul to Awundu. That's huge, his 4th.
Well, how about the ball movement? Mason, Graham, Jackson. I don't know. Is that a foul? To me, that's incidental right there.
Agreed.
But, yeah, I mean. But hey, you know, it's been that way last couple minutes both ways.
Johnson yanks down the miss, 4-point game.
Nice
Stokes
pass.
beating Wade.
Yep. Tough break for Lucas. He was about a split second late.
And a foul on Landon Lucas, his fourth. So Luke and Lucas each with 4. College football coming your way January 9th, little less than a week, 8 Eastern ESPN, the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T, a rematch from last year. Clemson and Alabama from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Of course, last year, the Crimson Tide winning it by 5. And
Yep.
Nick Saban's team trying to do the same.
How about Bo Scarborough, a young man from Tuscaloosa? Started his high school career there, then he finished at IMG Academy. His coach was Chris Winkie, former Heisman Trophy winner.
Jackson, and he'll shoot 2. So both teams racking up the fouls.
Well, anything close to contact now, the officials do not want this game to get away from them. And that time, Keith Kimball said that the defender was not vertical, that he came down on the shooter.
Dean Wade picks up the foul, his first 18 fouls on Kansas State, 9 on Kansas.
You know, we mentioned Josh Jackson's shooting, John, and that's part of that shooting is the inability so far in his early career to make those free throws. Came in tonight shooting only 54%.
Jackson coming in again, as you said, just a 54% free throw shooter.
Something to think about in the last 8 minutes if you're Bruce Weber.
Yep.
Well, you may want to give him, put him on the line on purpose if it fits you.
Shot clock winding down. Wade squares up and hits.
Sweet.
He's been excellent here in the second half. 18 points for Dean Wade. He's been playing great lately.
Tell you what, he just elevated over Jackson like Jackson wasn't even there. Nice.
Jackson off the glass, and
Yep.
Kansas retakes the lead.
Came right back with the same play. Got Jackson in an ISO.
Jackson with 20 now. Brown going to work. Johnson picks it up. Tough for Brown dealing with the length of Josh Jackson. K-State hanging in there. It's a 2-point game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by CenturyLink, connecting more than just places.
The road after getting pounded at home by Baylor over the weekend.
You get a chance to do that game, right? You and Doug Sherman.
Yeah, Doug Sherman, who one of my favorite guys. He did a lot of MAC games when I coached at Manhattan. Nice.
Mason aggressively to the rim and lays it in.
You notice, and we've said it so many times, but great coaches come out of a timeout with a play designed to get a quick hoop, and that's exactly what Bill Self did right there.
Jackson steps in the lane, the passing lane, and picks it off, and they get the foul on Wade, his second.
Now it's going to put Jackson at the line in a 1-on-1 situation. And so the big thing now for the freshman, the outstanding freshman, is to step up to that line and make his free throws.
He's missed his last 3, 1 for 4 in the night, and we documented just a shade over 50% from the line so far this season coming into tonight. .21 for Jackson. Got them both.
Yep, look good doing it. Little bit of pressure here now by Kansas.
Jackson ties his career high, and a timeout called by Kansas State. So back to a 6-point game. You got to give K-State a lot of credit. I mean, you and I have done enough games in this building. It gets to a certain point, the crowd gets going.
Yes.
And you can just kind of go away on the other side, and K-State has not. They've dug in. It's a team showing a lot of fight.
But I think Bill Self in this timeout is trying to talk to his team about getting one of those big runs here, breaking the game open. But to this point, 32 minutes in, haven't been able to do it. There you see the last home loss to Steve Fisher's club in a non-conference game. You think, John, about I remember all of Bill Self's losses. You know, Iowa State in 05. It was an ABC game. I was here. Will Blaylock, Curtis Stinson, Wayne Morgan was the coach. Billy Gillespie's team came in here in 07 and won on a Saturday night. Texas, the day after Thomas Robinson's mom passed away, Texas came in here and won. We mentioned Marcus Smart and, of course, Cartier Martin's team back in 2005. Not many. That's why they're easy to remember.
Yeah. 9 of them for Bill Self. Wade inside, looking for some help. Shot clock down to 6. Stokes a 3. Way off. And what do they have? A foul or a shot clock violation?
Both.
Keith Kimball.
Yep. They have both, John. Keith Kimball had the foul. Ray Natilli had the shot clock violation. So this is reviewable. They'll go to the line, I believe. Excuse me, they'll go to the scorer's table, I believe, to determine whether the shot was off in time. If it was off in time, Keith Kimball has the foul. If the foul occurred after the violation, there will be no foul call.
So right now, Ray Natilli and Keith Kimball over there taking a look. Bill Self's team up by 6.
Take a look now. Oh, it's close. I couldn't tell. Can we see it again? I don't know if they're showing it to the officials as well.
So again, they're still.
Let's see when Keith Kimball raises his arm to blow the whistle. He's watching. That's close. I don't think he got it off, but you see him, he blows the whistle. I think it's a shot clock violation.
I would agree.
Okay. That's why you go to the monitor. Well
Simon
done.
says pat your head.
Yep. Well, the last time Simon says Ted touched your shoulder in the first half.
Yeah, they called a timeout. They didn't want.
Wesley Awundu.
Yeah.
Bruce Weber was trying to signal the shoulder play, and Wesley Awundu thought his coach wanted a timeout.
Every once in a while, when you and I are at lunch, I have to give you the 30-second timeout signal. You get talking real fast.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking fast tonight, buddy. I'm trying to survive. But no better place to be for college hoops, that's for sure.
Yeah, as good a venue as there is. Feed inside, Bragg, rejected by Johnson. Brown almost lost it.
Well, Brown right now has got to be a little more judicious with his dribble. Remember, Awundu's got 4 fouls, so he's not out there.
Sneed.
Oh, boy. That looked good.
Bragg pulls down a big rebound. 6 to go here in Lawrence. Mason out of bounds. Nope, save. K-State the other way. Jackson rebounds to Stokes miss. And that is out of bounds on the side. Vic couldn't keep it in. So a little sloppy both ends.
Well, let's watch Frank Mason. He's going to get all the way to the rim, trying to draw some contact. And remember, this year, you are allowed to play vertically if you're a big man, as long as you don't break the plane with your hands, and the officials felt that Johnson did not. One dude back now with the 4, John.
Wade trying to find Johnson. Had him for just a moment, but good hands by Kansas on defense. 13 of the shot clock.
This is the perfect example of an underdog going into a place like this and just trying to hang around. This is like the 13th round of a prize fight. Right now, Kansas winning off points, so to speak. But you admire the challenger because they've come in here and they've answered the call.
Good job, good hands, K-State. Here's Wade. They had a 1-2 underneath. Couldn't find it.
And Wade was toying with shooting that ball. See, I would back him down here. Yep. Smart play by the senior.
1-2, the senior draws the foul on the sophomore, LeGerald Vitt. 10 team fouls on Kansas.
It's a great test for Kansas themselves, John. I can't think of a close home game this year in this place, at least this deep into the game, you know?
Wondu 78% from the strike. One out of 2 for Wesley, who will sit.
Yep, little offense, defense right there with the 4 fouls. To me right now, this is a team, this is a spread you out, pick and roll with Mason, maybe Graham attacking. Get into the lane off the pick and roll.
Brown rebounds to Jackson, miss. Stokes.
I would post up Johnson. See if they can get it.
Wade. And Mason is fouled by Johnson. And that's his 4th.
Well, I don't mind the shot by Wade, but on that possession, without Landon Lucas, I would have gone inside instead of shooting the contested shot.
Yep.
And then Johnson with the little push and the easy call.
Each side 10 fouls, so double bonus the rest of the way. Touched on it earlier, Fran, but you know, Frank Mason, a guy who's, this is his 3rd straight year as a starter, and he just, you know, all the cliches apply as far as a point guard, a coach of the court, and a guy who just, he knows what Bill Self wants all the time out there.
Yeah, there's no question. And the greatest comparison and compliment you give Frank Mason is when you compare him to Sharon Collins, the 2-time All-American here at Kansas. And he's grown into one of the great guards of college basketball.
1-2 inside. Johnson the follow and the flush.
That time they posted a 1-2. He got it up on the rim, and nobody blocked out Johnson from the weak side.
Kansas State hanging around. It's a 4-point game here at Allen Fieldhouse. Scott Ward, Scooter, as he's known. Good to have him back in the building.
He's associate athletic director, also the academic advisor for men's basketball. 78 days in the hospital. He had an aorta issue, John. His goal was to get home before Christmas, which he did, and he's back here attending a game, and I know the players love seeing him.
Yeah, they all went over and said what's up to him. He got to be home for Christmas, which is nice. Glad he's doing all right.
Tell you what, Bruce Weber does not mind if Josh Jackson shoots the 3. It's not that he can't make it. It's just that it's a low percentage shot, given what Kansas has on the floor offensively.
Where do you want to see K-State go?
Well, I'd say
That'll play.
Let's go to Wade. Let's go to Wade and see if we can post him up.
Nice job, Karnak. I like that. That's good coaching.
No, that was good assistant coaching. That's what I used to tell the head coach after the guy scored.
Great look, Mason to Lucas. 14 for Landon off the feed for the point guard.
We got no Johnson, no Iwundu right now. So this is a very young team for Kansas State. And this is a big possession without those two seniors.
Wade a three. Sneed the rebound. You got 3 sophomores, a freshman, and a senior out there for K-State.
Sneed should have shot that ball. Nice.
Great shot there. Kamal Stokes with that little floater, the scoop.
Well, if you can post Lucas, I don't mind that, but I like the ball in Mason's hands and just drive it.
Jackson rising above but couldn't finish. And now Brown up ahead.
Wow.
Off the glass. How about that?
And they're doing it without the two seniors, John, who are sitting at the scorer's table right now.
Timeout, Kansas. Tied up 84 apiece.
How about Kamal Stokes, the young man out of Baltimore, Charm City. Watch the floater. They come right back. And Barry Brown with the right hand, soft off the glass. Remember, John, Bruce Weber's come in here 4 times, and the average margin of defeat is 19 points. So he has to love what his team has done tonight because they played with poise in the Lions' den.
They led by 9 of the first half. And we talked about the balance for K-State. 5 players in double figures. They've got 6 averaging 9.5 or more. So it's a balanced attack. And there's really no one guy that you put the target on to say, we got to stop him.
Yeah.
And it's proven out here tonight. Meanwhile, Bill Self and company trying to preserve a 46-game win streak here at Allen Fieldhouse. Tied up at 84 apiece as we close it on 90 seconds to go.
Going high-low here, trying to get Lucas.
Yeah, they find Lucas inside. And one. Landon Lucas to the line.
And that's what they call 2-game. They don't run it as much as they've run it in the past, but they go right inside, and that pass is designed to go to the corner of the backboard where Lucas can seal his man, catch it, and that time he gets a chance at 3.
Landon Lucas not able to convert the 3-point play, but he's matched the career high with 16 points.
Wow, foul on Mason.
And that's Frank's second.
Now Stokes comes in shooting 69% from the line coming into the game, but he missed a couple early. This young man is a lot like Mason and Graham in that he signed with Toledo, went to prep school, and then got an offer at a bigger school. Much like Mason committing to Towson and Devontae Graham committing to Appalachian State.
All tied up. 86 apiece. Kansas State's last lead, by the way, 32-31 in the first half.
Now Johnson and Lucas both have 4 fouls, and that's why I think Bill Self will try to go into Lucas. And that's his 5th foul. Yep, that's good coaching.
Johnson is done.
Johnson can't believe it. See, I think if you're DJ Johnson, you got to do your work early. You can't let Lucas bury you in the lane, and then if he catches it, you have to make him score over you, because being on the floor in the final minute and 2 seconds is more important than giving up 2 points right there.
And Lucas has just gotten position that's been too good. I mean, he's gotten it deep. 0 for 2 from the line tonight. Gets that one.
Now, Lucas had 4 fouls, so now Johnson, who's out of the game, can't exploit Lucas on the other end.
Lucas and Mikhailuk each with 4 fouls. That, by the way, a new career high for Landon Lucas with 17. Make it 18 and a 2-point Jayhawk lead. And here comes the crowd at Allen. Owandu slashing inside and gets it to go. What a shot, Wesley Owandu.
Did he know exactly what he wanted to do? Flashed to the foul line and took it right to the basket.
Mason off balance. Lucas for the putback. Wouldn't go. Rebound, Owandu.
Wow, John. How about Kansas State can take the lead? 1 timeout left.
About a 5-second differential, shot clock to game clock. And Bruce Weber calls timeout.
Now remember, the players have to call the timeout from the court.
Right.
And that's exactly what I think Kamal Stokes did when he saw his coach. Well, Bruce Weber went right to the senior. No DJ Johnson. Watch Owandu flash, and he goes right by Jackson to the rim. Wow.
Great move, Wesley Owandu. College basketball coming your way on Thursday. We start our doubleheader in the Big Ten. Number 20, Purdue, and Caleb Swanigan against Ohio State. And then we head out west in the Pac-12. Number 4, UCLA and Lonzo Ball against Cal. And that'll come your way at 9 Eastern.
Okay, now there's a 5-second differential, John. 14 on the shot clock. If it's me, I put the ball in the hands of Wesley Owandu and allow him to make a play. But he's got to have room in there so that the double team can't get to him easily, because he'll make the right play as long as he's not swallowed up.
Well, the beginning of the game, we touched on the balance of the Kansas State scoring attack, and it's proven out here tonight. I think more than anything, though, just showing that grit and not going away. They trailed by as many as 12 in the second half in as tough a building as you'd find to get a road win. Kansas has won 46 straight at Allen Fieldhouse.
They got to get the ball back to Owandu, and they do. I just get out of his way.
Jackson on Owandu. Wade, a 3. Owandu the rebound. Out of bounds, it's Kansas basketball. And timeout called by Kansas. Owandu had it.
Not yet, John.
For a moment.
Now he's got it. Wow, how about that? And now Bill Self has it. He has an eternity with 5.6.
Wade had a great look at it.
Yeah, they're going to check to see, make sure that it was off Kansas State. It looks like it was.
Owandu had it initially, then lost it, and then I think it hit his hand and his head.
Now, Bill Self is as good an X and O guy as there is in the country for somebody who doesn't have that reputation. And by that I mean, you know, we think of the great offensive coaches, McKillop and guys like that. This guy knows what he's doing. He's a great special teams coach. And when you got to keep in mind now, Frank Mason or Graham, but I like Mason with it, they can go end to end and have at least 6 dribbles. He has plenty of time not only to go coast to coast, but also to make a pass or 2. So if it's me, I'm trying to get the ball to Mason, try to get him on the run up the court. And if I'm Kansas State, I try to switch on to Mason and keep him from getting the ball.
5.6 to go. K-State has not won here since 2006.
Now you see where Mason is, John? I would switch because he's going to come off Jackson. Couldn't get it to him.
Up to Mikhailuk. Mikhailuk for the win. Mikhailuk, after they were able to outlet with the pressure, able to lay it in. They're going to take a look to make sure it's good.
Yep. Kansas State did a great job of keeping the ball from Mason and Graham. But remember, 5.6 is plenty of time to go coast to coast. And once he caught it, it was a straight line to the rim because the defense was concentrating on Graham and Mason.
No question about it. Now, there may have been a walk in there. The basket counts. Steve Mikhailuk, with his dad in the building, hits the winner. What a game we had here.
Well, Kansas State was claiming that he traveled. But what an effort by both teams, and particularly the Wildcats. Oh, he took the 3rd step. He sure did. Yep. He took the 3rd step. And it doesn't matter because that's not reviewable. You can review the clock, but you can't review the call. Yep, 3 steps, John.
Yep.
Kansas fortunate. Kansas State terrific. Even in Europe, that's a travel. Maybe not in the Ukraine, but the rest of the continent.
Bill Self's group, 47 straight wins at Allen Fieldhouse. Unbelievable game here tonight. 9 was what K-State led by in the first half.